This question comes from Chai Gohil. He writes, this is for Ajit. Reinsurance industry is going through one of the hardest pricing environments in the last 15 years. Berkshire historically has participated during these stress times when economic returns are very attractive. This year, it appears Berkshire has not been interested in deploying its resources towards property cat reinsurance despite such strong returns. Can you elaborate on reasons for not participating despite these returns? And your broader view on how you're planning to shape your reinsurance business post-acquisition of Allegheny.
Okay. In terms of Allegheny, that's an easy response. We treat our operating units independent of each other. And as far as Allegheny is concerned, they have a major presence in the reinsurance business under the brand name of Transatlantic Re. That company will operate the way it's been operating in the past. There'll be no change in terms of strategy or management, and they will keep doing what they're doing. They've been very successful, and hopefully they'll keep being successful. Now, in terms of the property cat business that I have been active in over these last several years, you are right that the last 15 years has been a difficult time. Prices have not been attractive, and even though we have had some presence in the property cat business in the last 15 years, it really is been minimal. This December 31st, which is a big renewal date for cat reinsurance, we were hoping that we would get a few days in the sun and we'd be able to deploy our capital and be able to write some fairly attractive business. As it happened towards the end of December, till about the third week of December, I was very optimistic that we would get a chance to put several $1 billion on the books. But in the last 10 days of December, unfortunately, a lot of capacity came out of the woodworks. Pricing that we were expecting to realize didn't really come and meet our pricing requirements, as a result of which January 1 was a big disappointment. We did not write as much as we were hoping to write. Now, fast forward to April 1, which is another big renewal date. We had a lot of powder dry, and we were lucky that we kept the powder dry, because April 1, suddenly prices zoomed up again a lot higher than what they were on January 1 and started to look attractive to us. So now we have a portfolio that is very heavily exposed to property catastrophe. To put that in perspective, our exposure today is almost 50% more than what it was 5-6 months ago. So, I think we have written as much as our capacity will allow us to write. We are very happy with what we've written. The margins have been healthy. The only thing that I want to mention to you is that while the margins have been healthy, we have a very unbalanced portfolio. What that means is if there's a big hurricane in Florida, we will have a very substantial loss. As opposed to that, if we have a very big loss anywhere other than Florida, relative to our competition, we will have a much smaller loss. Net, I'm very happy with the portfolio. It's been a lot better. It is a lot better than what it's been in the past. I don't know how long it'll last. And of course, if the hurricane happens in Florida, we could lose, across all the units, we could lose as much as $15 billion. And if there isn't a loss, we'll make several $1 billion as profit.
And G, tell them how long, when you called me and said you'd like to expose us to whatever it was, a couple billion more of exposure, how long I took to say yes.
Yeah. So the way we think about our exposures, in the property, in the insurance operations collectively across the entire company, given that we have about a little less than $300 billion of GAAP capital, we think of that as a 5% exposure that we're willing to take on. So, to complete Warren's story, a few weeks ago, we had about $13 billion of exposure all across the globe. And I called up Warren. I said, we're up to 13. It'll be nice if we can go up to 15. That's a good round number. And that was less than a 30-second phone call. I think Warren said yes without even listening to what the numbers were.
I hope he calls me again.